big good one here, and eventually we will. So, like, subscribe, share, all that, help promote and rank up my channel because I'm competing against bigger YouTubers and celebrities. But with that said, I have a follow up to one of my previous videos in which Ray Fisher made accusations against Joss Whedon, and this one comes from Kevin Smith. Kevin Smith responding to the allegations against Joss Whedon on Justice League set. Of course, I don't know how elaborate this is going to be, so let's just see what we got here. Kevin Smith explains what he knows about the abuse that allegedly went on behind the scenes of the Justice League reshoots. And I'm not a fan of Kevin Smith, I'll make that clear right now, but I'm not going to let my personal opinion of Kevin Smith get in the way of the story or whatever. So, as accused by Ray Fisher, the debate kicked off by Ray Fisher's comments regarding inappropriate behavior on the part of Joss Whedon on the sets of Justice League continues to rage. Now, in an episode of the Fat Man Beyond podcast, Kevin Smith has also waded into the issue, declaring that he heard from sources that Whedon's behavior was far from ideal towards the film he had been brought in to course correct. So, remember when I went to Skywalker set and said some people had worked on both Solo and Justice League? The special effects guy said there was a fair amount of trash talking of Zack's version of the movie on set by Josh. Again, this is what a special effects guy who worked on both versions of the film told me. But that Whedon, would cut down, dismiss, and be negative about Zack's version, which he had seen and all these people had made together without him and stuff. So back in 2017, after Zack Snyder had spent months working on Justice League, Warner Brothers executives removed him from the project and brought in Joss Whedon to do reshoots. The reason behind this was, because personal tragedy on Zack Snyder's family. So whatever the real reason, Whedon came in and changed the script and the tone of the movie drastically since he was working with the cast and crew that had been serving Snyder's vision for months. It makes sense that Whedon's efforts to change the nature of the project so drastically would be met with some surprise. Yeah, I guarantee you it would be met with pushback. These people would not be really fun, and they would probably, try to reason with Joss Whedon, that just get some harsh pushback. Or maybe they were negative without realizing it, trying to argue to keep Snyder's version intact because that's the kind they like, that's the kind they've been working towards. I don't really know. So the guy had said he was kind of uncomfortable on set because the people he was talking to about not liking that version of the movie were all people that had helped make that version of the movie. So that, I think, is probably the unprofessional thing. Like, you don't do that, especially if you came in to help out during a bad moment in the director's life and stuff. But that's hearsay. That sounds pretty reasonable to me, that you come in and you don't like the way things were and you're trying to change it to fit your vision better, and they don't like hearing you talk negatively about it because they've all been working on this. This is what they all been working towards. And this guy that they personally worked so closely with, this film was his vision, and he just lost his daughter. And now they bring in some replacement to kind of stab him in the back, kick him while he's already down. So I can see why absolutely everybody would be uncomfortable in this situation. Even Joss Whedon himself, that he probably acted like a dick about it. Directors do act like dicks, especially when it comes to their vision. So Smith's statement only serves to bolster the case of Ray Fisher, who played the role of Cyborg in the DCEU. Fisher had taken to Twitter to accuse Whedon of gross, abusive, unprofessional, and completely unacceptable behavior, adding that the film was enabled in many ways by Jeff Johns and John Berg. Fisher has not volunteered any specific instances of Whedon's abusive behavior in Smith's description of the filmmaker's dismissive attitude towards Snyder work. Meanwhile, while mean-spirited would hardly rank as abusive, the rest of the lead cast of Justice League has yet to weigh in on the matter, which means at this point the whole issue comes down to Fisher's word against Whedon. And I guarantee you there's a lot of clauses and stuff that prevent people from speaking out. And Fisher's probably been talked to and educated already by now about his statements and how it can hurt future projects that they have in the works, because they still are working with Whedon. So it's tough to say if this will ever be elaborated on, because you think he would elaborate on those claims, elaborate what he means by unacceptable behavior, gross, abusive, unprofessional, and completely unacceptable. Because if this is true, then why not provide the details when you've already went this far? And I'm not trying to discredit that it's not true, or that it is true. I'm not trying to discredit that it is true. I'm not trying to say it is true or isn't true. What I'm trying to say is that why not give us the full details? And of course, by now, he's probably been talked to and told that things are going to get bad if he does give the full details. Not bad in the sense that they'll like jump him or beat him up or make him disappear or some mafia stuff. But like bad in the sense that you're going to hurt future projects and your career and all that. But right now, with everything going on, Ray Fisher probably thought it was the best and most appropriate time to do something like this with all the BLM stuff that's going on. Because right now, any black person can pretty much say the most racist, god-awful thing they want right now, do anything they want, and be, well, as long as it fits the narrative, as long as they fit the narrative of Hollywood, and not say like something like Terry Crews has said, and that they're in danger of becoming black supremacists. Not say something like that, but if Ray Fisher is on that side of politics, he can pretty much say whatever he wants. That includes being flat out and completely monstrous, like racist, to just because you can be openly racist and do whatever you want. All right, now if you're on that side of politics, you can say whatever you want, and because he is a black dude, and the whole BLM thing is going on right now. Maybe Ray Fisher thought that this was his time to really get some pull and just come out and spill these beans, because he would be more of a protected class than Joss Whedon, who's got a long history and a lot of friends in Hollywood and's got some real strings that he can pull. That who knows if this story is ever going to get elaborated on, because after coming out and saying something like that, and it's just weird that he wouldn't really elaborate on those details. And I suspect because he probably got a talking to very fast about saying this kind of stuff when there's so much going on right now. And they probably told him something like, if you still want your Cyborg movie or whatever. But I don't know, man. Chime in with your 2 cents. Comment down below. Hey, Goodwin here. Eventually we will. And I'm going to keep trying to follow this as it develops. If it develops any further than what it has. But stay awesome. Rock on.